What's up, everybody? This is GreyMan here, and I want you to join me on summer preparedness activities for the family. Let's make emergency preparedness fun again. So stay tuned and let's jump into this. So what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well as always. So I thought about this video and I was thinking, man, how can we make summer fun? How can we make emergency preparedness fun for, let's say family, friends, and the children? You know what I mean? So I wanted to come up with some activity ideas and things that we can do to kind of educate and teach our children, as well as family and friends who may be hanging out with us, and teach them a little bit about emergency preparedness, but in a fun way to make it entertaining and fun. So we're going to go ahead and dive into a few topics that I think that would be some ideas, and as always, I would like for you guys to drop in the comments maybe some activities that you do with your family, and share those with the folks down in the comments. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And if you get any value out of this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Let's get that message out there. Let's break the YouTube algorithm and get this out there for folks to be educated. So how do we go about doing this? How do we make things fun? So I talked to Lady Grey and I threw some ideas off her, and I also looked on the net and stuff like that and did a little bit of research and came up with some ideas. So a lot of folks during the summertime may go camping. I know some people say, well, it's really hot and sticky out there, but folks do go on trips and do camping trips, fishing trips and stuff like that. So, things that we can do possibly, on this camping trip, try to make it more of a, let's say primitive camping trip. And I know the kids are going to be like, oh man, I want my iPad or this or that and that. Well, tell them, let's have fun with it. Practice setting up a sleeping bag, practice, how to put up a tent and time them and reward them. Like, let's say, if whoever gets your sleeping bag set up and their tent set up in a certain amount of time, we get to do this fun thing or something like that. You know what I mean? Make it like entertaining and stuff like that. At least that's how I look at it. Also practice things while you're camping, like cooking over an open flame. Different things that you can cook. Make it fun. Make some of the food quite intriguing. Throw some ideas out there, stuff like that. Also, take your water filters out there and show them how that you can just take water from somewhere, filter it, either by boiling it or with your water filtration device, and make it kind of like, an education, but like, like a field trippy kind of thing, practice entertaining, each other, have conversations, bring some cards, maybe a board game, maybe just like some, hangman, things like that. Practice having fun without electronics being the center of attention while you're out there. Things like that. Also, the key thing about when you're camping is you're out there most of the time without electricity. So if you have the opportunity, have them garner and think, okay, so what about if we don't have power? How would we do this, or how would we do that? And kind of make it like a, like a trivia game. Whoever gets it right gets this. Make it some sort of rewarding activity or something like that. Now, if it's adults, you can turn that into a drinking game or something like that. But you kind of get where I'm going with this kind of stuff like that, man. So also, I think another fun activity would be is learning and teaching medicinal plants and wild edibles. Give everybody, do the research in advance, like, okay, I know these plants and these edibles are out there, and set everybody on like a scavenger hunt. Who can find the most medicinal plants? Teach them how to identify the plants, as well as the medicinals and stuff like that. And then if you go out there and you find some, bring them on back to the camp and see who has the most. It also teaches them foraging techniques. You can also incorporate, navigation and stuff like that. Teaching them, okay, well, you're going to go south, and you're going to go east, and I'm going to go west, and we're going to stay in the circumference, and we're going to see what we can find. And it's just you got to hype it up and make it seem like it's extremely fun. Because while they're doing this, believe it or not, they may not see it that way, but they will be learning. They will be learning to look at plants, to identify plants, and also learning, okay, dad or mom or whoever have said, wow, if I look at this way and the sun's here, it could be at this time. You can teach them all different kinds of things while you're incorporating certain parts of these techniques. So I think that'll be fun. All right. Excuse me. As you guys know, always the cough comes on whenever I start doing a video. So you got to, like I said, you got to practice emergency preparedness, specifically outdoors, together. You know, you can even challenge folks. You know, can you? Let me see. What can I come up with? Can you, let's say, when you have that open fire, can you cook certain things on there? How would you prepare that? How do you spice up your eggs? You know, like if you can use everything around you, incorporate that into the cooking. To me, that would make it more fun, because then once you accomplish that, I know for me personally, I feel when I accomplish something, I feel really good inside, and that releases the endorphins in your body and that happy feeling, and it's kind of like, you know, I've done something and I'm proud of it. You know, you can even print out achievement awards. I know it sounds you know, not the coolest thing to do for most folks, but children love stuff like this. You know what I mean? And they may cherish these memories and these moments for quite some time. You know, you can have, let's say, get everybody out there and say, okay, everybody has, let's start a fire, and give, you know, everybody, let's say, a ferrocerium rod, and whoever starts the fire the quickest, and whoever keeps the, you know, collects the most firewood, whoever can, you know, once they start the fire, keep the fire going for a certain amount of time. Think about all the different ways that you can incorporate learning skills and teaching these folks, you know, like I said, friends, family, and children, how to do some of these techniques. And okay, if you go over to one and they're a little bit frustrated, so you kind of go over there and sit with them and do that, you know, motherly or fatherly thing, and go out there and just kind of like, you know, show them and give them some techniques, and they say, okay, have at it. Then you try and just work with them. Just try to stay positive and try to make it fun. You know, with a, you know, smile, look at them, you know, give them that eye contact, you know, pat them on the back and let them know it's okay to fail sometimes. This is how we learn. So I think skills like this would be very, very important. Plus, again, you're spending time with the family as well as educating and teaching them. So, I'm looking at some things here so I can kind of, you know, stay on task. You know, let's say simple things. Kids may have, let's say you've never taken the kids out canoeing or rowboating and stuff like that. Maybe you can explain to them how, you know, how to row properly, you know, how to, you know, balance a canoe when you're in there, you know, little safety tips and stuff like that when you're in types of boats and stuff like that. If you go out on a day on the lake or something like that, then you can incorporate them into fishing skills, teaching them how to catch a fish, you know, how to bait the hook, how to tie knots. And once you catch some fish, and you can teach them how to clean it. I know some kids are going to be like, ew, this is nasty. But, you know, you kind of try to be like, hey, we're camping, and kind of elaborate, you know, we're taking from nature, we're consuming, kind of like, you know, the old days. And as they learn these skills, and, you know, when you're sitting there and you catch that fish and you bring it home, and you, not bring it home, but bring it back to the campsite, or you know, wherever you may be, and you know, you clean it and all that fun stuff like that. You know, it's fun for me. But, and then you cook it, and you add some of the seasonings or stuff like that. Maybe you found some wild onions or something like that on your scavenger hunt for the foraging, you know, what do they call it? The foraging activity. And they mix it all together, and they taste it, and like, wow, this tastes really good, mom or dad or whoever, you know, and they'd be like, wow, this is really cool. That plants the seeds for them to find this entertaining, and then possibly getting them in tuned to being prepared and learning primitive skills. And I'm not saying primitive skills like, you know, some people might not consider fishing a primitive skill, but that's the way we did it a long, long time ago. Fishing, hunting, gathering, so on and so forth. You guys kind of get where I'm going with that. And like I said, make sure you bring your gear with you. Have everybody pack up a little bug-out bag. I don't mean like a full bug-out bag, but a little mini camping bug-out bag or get-home bag, whatever you want to call it, 72-hour kit, and make it fun. You know, it's like, hey, you know, hey, Kid A and Kid B, you know, put something together, what you think that you would need to survive in the woods for, let's say, a couple of days in case you got lost, and then apply the stuff that they packed in their bags and use them and say, okay, well, you know, so-and-so, you brought this, let's apply this and see how we can use this. So I think there's ways to make it fun. And like I said, incorporating these scavenger hunts and all these different, you know, fire starting activities and packing their bags and learning what's good to have in there, what's not good to have in there, what worked for them, what didn't work for them, will sink in there. Like I said, we're planting seeds for their future, for their education, for the knowledge for them to pick up. And like I said, you know, also, let's say you guys are going to go on a hike while you're out camping. or whatever trip. Maybe you're going to go up to the Rockies, or maybe you're going to go somewhere and you're going to do a day hike or something like that. Take some of these freeze-dried foods out there. Let them, like I said again, start the fire. Learn how to start that, how to prepare it. How to measure the water, and get to taste some of this freeze-dried food. Because they're always probably like, they look at you and like, wow, do we have all this freeze-dried food? Whatever it be, I wonder what it tastes like. Their minds are curious. They may not say it to you, but they are curious. Just like I said, my daughter, we call her Little Miss Grey now because that's what she wants to be called. She was jealous of Lady Grey. She's like, well, I want a name, so I call her Little Miss Grey. So anyways, I gave her an MRE, and she wanted to play with that, and she opened it up, and she used each little individual piece. And like I said, she set up like this little setup, and it was like she was like kind of camping in her room, but she got the feel for what eating an MRE is like, and how to set it up, and how to use the heating elements, and all the stuff like that, and what came inside of it, what she found value in, and what she didn't. So I think things like that are super educational, at least for me personally. Hopefully you guys will find that as well. Like I said, again, try to incorporate everything, be it hiking, camping, foraging, whatever that you're doing. Incorporate navigation, how to use a compass. Give everybody a compass, and practice these little things. You can tie off ribbons to certain spots, and whoever can traverse a certain area and get back to camp in a certain spot, the quickest. And of course, I don't mean on long distances. I don't mean send your kids in the woods with a compass and tell them to find you. If they're older, maybe you have some options there, but you want to stay safe. And make sure that that they don't disappear, you don't lose your children. But you can make a small little like I said, course in your campsite, or on the hike or wherever, and just teach them. Let them lead the way. In your head, you already know where you're going. You've already know how to look at the maps. You know how to use the compasses. You know these things. But it's also good for you as a refresher, because you're teaching someone, so it kind of reiterates and reinforces that into your mindset. But it's also teaching them. Let's say you're going to go from point A to point B, and you show them the map, you show them some skills on how to gauge that map. Maybe if you're using, a map with the topographics, you can kind of teach them that as well. And as they learn this, at first they might not find it as entertaining or as intriguing as you do, but as they progress and they start seeing these skills and it all plays out, they're going to find this valuable. I know it sounds crazy, but I know some kids are going to be like, no way. But once they're out there and they're kind of, just exploring these options, surprisingly enough, more times than none, they're going to find out how much fun they had. And then they're going to kind of more get into that mindset where they want to, understand, mom and dad, and why they prepare. You know what I mean? You don't have to fill their heads with all the politics and all the stuff that we're preparing for. You don't have to use the fear stuff. If you make it fun and more of a camping, hiking, trail, even geocaching event, you're teaching them stuff that if emergency happens, they're going to have retained some of this information. Now, if you do it throughout the summer, and then maybe you translate and you go bigger each summer and expand that, eventually, as they grow each year, they might be looking forward to it. Like, wow, I can't wait till this summer. What's next? What are we going to do next? So I think it'll be totally, totally fun. At least, like I said, from my perspective, and hopefully from yours as well. It also gives you a chance to rotate through some of your stuff like that. When you go on these trips, when you take some of your survival blankets out there and you want to test some of the material, which one's better than others, you get to test out your equipment. So it's always good to continuously test these things out. If something breaks, have them problem solve with you as well. If you have an issue or something happens, have them kind of like think of some stuff like that happens. Also, when it comes to first aid, children are very adept to picking up things relatively quick. Their minds are very impressionable. If someone gets hurt, a minor, scrapes or hurts themselves or burns their hand on a pot, kind of go step by step in a slow manner and kind of explain it to them what you're doing and how you're resolving that issue, and then they can practice that on, let's say, on their brother, their sister, their cousin, their aunts, uncles, or on their mom or dad, and so they can kind of get in tune. Like, okay, you have to remain calm. This is for that. We use burn cream for this. You can use alcohol wipes for that. It just gets them educated and in tuned, but in a fun way. At least, again, like I said, I think that most would gravitate and kind of see what you're trying to teach them, but also find it entertaining. And again, you're spending time with your family. Like I said, there's all kinds of things that you do. You make it into a game. Make it, if you have to, if you have competitive children, make it into a competition. Some may get mad, but maybe they'll try harder. The next time, you know what I mean? You can say, okay, well, Bob and Sue, Sue won this time, so Bob, we're going to step up your game and say, okay, Bob, you did this and this and that. Maybe if you do this, next time you can beat Sue. So let's try it again tomorrow. Try to have this positive mindset. You want to be happy, you want to be enthusiastic, and you want to praise them when they do things right. And if they do things wrong, just say, okay, that's okay. Let them know it's okay, and then kind of go over them what needs to be done properly, and then have them try again. Like I said, imagine practicing with the bow drill. How complicated. I've watched all these different shows, from Naked and Afraid to Alone to all kinds of different survival shows, and watching these bushcraft experts, these people that have been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, go out there with a bow drill, and it takes 6 to 8 hours to get that fire started because they are unfamiliar with certain areas, certain woods, and certain materials. So, maybe each year on your camping, hiking, or whatever trip that you're going to do, for your, I call it the emergency preparedness trip, go into different zones. If you get a chance to go up in the mountains, if you get a chance to, go out west, more colder climates, warmer climates, wherever you decide to go, explore those areas. And it starts to kind of bring it all in and bring it all together, and they kind of learn different things. Take books out there with them, you know what I mean? And say, look, these, if you have to have electronics, use their phones. There's many apps on your phones that you can use, like Plant ID, and they can use that. They can take a picture of it, find that plant, get the information about that plant, give them a Write in the Rain notepad, and they can take notes. Now, I'm probably being redundant here, but I'm just saying, you guys kind of get where I'm going with all this stuff like that. You can even do stuff while you're driving to the campsite, or wherever you're heading for your vacation. You can look at stuff like how to use GPS, car emergency. Hey guys, what happens when we break down? What's some of the first things that we could do? Just give them all different ideas and stuff like that. So every step of the way, you can be teaching and educating your children or friends or family, again, anyone, with all these different types of things, from point A to point B and then back, packing everything up, repacking their stuff, folding their tents, squashing the fire. And then as you go on, you can get into more advanced things. Let's say you don't have the money to go camping, you don't have the money to go out on hikes or field trips or something like that. You can do this at home as well. A lot of folks have said it, and I know they're not going to be happy about this, but say we're going to have a family sleepover, and invite, if they want to invite some of their friends, maybe you can, put that seed with some of their friends as well, and they can spread that, amongst their community of friends. The kids like to share their summer experiences. But a lot of kids are scared of the dark, so let them know it's okay. It's okay. Tell them you're going to shut the power off for the night, for the day. You're going to do a 24-hour sleepover, with no power. Let's say, you could say, oh, we're practicing for hurricanes. We're practicing in case we have a blackout. And just do all kinds of stuff, create memories so that it will be lasting in their head. Make sure that they have the flashlights. Teach them how to use flashlights. They're proper. You need charging cords. You need this, and power banks, and explain to them all about the gear that they're going to use at home in this let's say 24-hour sleepover without power. Break out the propane stove, break out a alcohol stove, and kind of just prepare everything together as a family. Like I said, it's a power outage just like that. I think some of these things, be it no matter if you're stuck at home, if you're going on vacation, if you're driving, there's so many things that we can turn into an education and a learning experience, but make it fun for the children to lay the seed. And if you see, I've been consistent with that, because I call it mainly planting a seed within their impressionable minds and making it fun. And that way, down the road, they'll look forward to this stuff, and they will also understand why you, being a prepper or someone in the preparedness community, how that would translate, and maybe they will, it'll make more sense to them. Now, I'm gonna wrap this up here, because I know I'm kind of going on different things here. But people that are in homesteads, imagine some of the kids who they don't want to go do the cows, they don't want to go do the chickens. I'm pretty sure if you put your mind to it, create a plan, and try to make that fun as well. You know what I mean? Whoever, I don't know, there's different things. I don't have a homestead, so I don't have all the ideas there, but hopefully some of you homesteaders out there can come up with ideas, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think myself, whoever collects the most eggs, whoever does this or does that, I'm thinking myself, what could you do, take your son or daughter out in the garden and kind of show them some stuff. Gardening is good for the soul. We know this. All the minerals and nutrients on that soil that you breathe in is just a positive thing. Getting sunshine, that vitamin D absorbing to your skin. Yes, it's hot. I know this. But also getting used to that heat, getting used to the environment will help them get out of the house. And that's the main goal behind this, is getting them out of the house, having fun, educating, and teaching folks about preparedness, but making it in a fun way. So I hope some of you guys got some ideas out of this. If you got any value out of this, please give this a thumbs up, because the thumbs up does help. It does help, shows interaction with you, the folks out there on YouTube, and it helps propel this video so other folks can run into it and possibly get some great ideas and making emergency preparedness fun, especially during the summer. All right, well, this is GreyMan. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope you guys have an enjoyable day, but this is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on a rebound, and God bless.